What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Early access patrons, thank you for the support. We're going back to the wall today. I asked a few of the patrons, I think I'm down to like 6 patrons. We lost a few patrons, but that is fine. I appreciate the people that are still there. I understand it's COVID times. The stimulus check hasn't hit, the new one. People are not getting unemployment, and that's just the way it is. So we gotta be sympathetic to that. But my man Alessio said, Steven, if you can, he's like, I love everything you're putting out. This is what Alessio said, but he said, you know me, I lack against the wall a little bit, so if you could show some more wall stuff, that would be great. So this is a good combination takedown from the wall. We use a basic foot sweep to enter into a lock double. So our starting point is gonna be inside positioning with my underhook, and feel free to get close, Pete, just for the audio purposes, just because. So if I'm in nice and tight, my head's always gonna be on the underhook side. Now there's a process of getting to that position. We're not gonna get into that. You're gonna have to subscribe to Patreon for that one. But we're gonna be here with our head on the inside position. I have my knuckles locked onto my temple, so if he goes to pull his arm out, it's actually a very hard thing to do. With my left hand, I'm always monitoring his secondary arm. This can be the biggest part of the arm, which we typically do in half guard positions from the bottom, or we can go to the wrist. I prefer the wrist if there's a glove on the guy. So if this is a UFC fight or something like this, we're always gonna lock by the wrist, because when he goes to pull his hand out, it's like attaching yourself to a plunger. It's locked into place. Now, once we get here, watch how I lower my level and I go to a locked single leg position where my ear stays on my training partner's chest. From here, we use our knee to extract his knee, and we go to a squared position so that I'm parallel with the cage itself. This is a huge detail. I don't want to stay here unless I'm using trips, but that gets very, very advanced. By and large, if I lock up a single from this position, I'm not just going to stay here, because he has an exit. He's just going to hop around and defend. So unless you're using trips that are far more advanced that we haven't been into yet, we're going to circle right to the front of our training partner's body. As soon as we do that, we're going to move him off the wall, and we're going to use a very basic sort of Sasai foot sweep where we drive forward just enough to trip his far leg. Now, I'm not looking for a big response, okay? This isn't going to be like a big Gucci, like where the guy's going down like this. He's just going to base his hand on the wall just enough to get that response. So I move him off, I block, I get a hand block on the cage. As soon as he's blocking on the cage, that means he's not in position to fight my left hand. Whenever that's the case, I'm going to lower my level, I'm going to go to my lock double, I'm going to drive his ass to the cage. As I run in, I'm able to suck his hips in, run my takedown, and work my passing from the top position. That's always going to be a big thing. So we're using Kazushi at all times. We're trying to get the man off balance, and we're trying to get limb extension. Now, limb extension, obviously in the standing position, isn't going to be relegated to submission. It's going to be relegated to a lack of his ability to properly defend himself, if that makes any sense. So limb extension on the ground would be, I go 2-on-1, I pull him, he posts a leg. That's limb extension, right? I'm in. Standing, it may look a little different. It may be a scenario where I get him to post an arm out. That's limb extension. Now, of course, this isn't going to equate to a submission. I don't have access to that arm, and it would be foolhardy for me to try to submit him from here, but there's nothing for him to do with his right hand in terms of defense. So when I change elevation and I dive bomb into the double, he has no recourse for defense. So that's the concept. Again, head inside position, to knuckles locked on our temple, and we always monitor his secondary arm with our free hand. So we're fighting. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to have to strip grips, do things like this. As I start to lower my level, I make a good connection. I get my knee behind his, and I begin the process of squaring up against the cage. From here, we misdirect him. We fake like we're running the pipe, maybe. From here, we hit a very basic foot sweep just to get him to post his arm. Once he posts his arm, we change elevation where I get my shoulder slightly below his hip line, and then I dive bomb so I can get my left elbow locked around his far side post leg. So as I drive, I'm in. Now from this position, it's just a matter of pulling everything inside. I can start to work my shots, my ground and pound, my positional stuff. So let's run over that one last time. Make sure you guys subscribe. Like I said before about the Patreon, you can check it out. I'll do far more subtle stuff on Patreon. How did we get here? How did I get here? If he's a skilled opponent, he's not letting me here, right? We started here. So this is a quiz. You can leave a comment below. If I'm in a neutral chest to chest, how do I get my head to the far side, to my underhook side? Leave a comment below if you know. I'll give you a free Patreon. I'll give you a free subscription. So head on the inside, hip placement. I'm always monitoring that arm. From here, we lower our level. We get good shoulder placement. With that squaring position, I can always drag him off the wall hit my foot sweep, hit that foot sweep, get limb extension. Once I get limb extension, I'm changing elevation, I'm locking, I'm running his butt to the wall, I'm taking it down, and I'm blocking my grounding pound from the top position. Okay? Should look familiar. What does this look like? You guys watched the fights last weekend?
Over.
Yeah? Shout out to Sakai. Hitting shots, eating shots from here, eating hammer fist from the top position. Subscribe. Libby, thank you. Thank you guys so much for the support. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment, like, share if you like this. Check out the Patreon, link in bio and the first comment. Thank you guys.